Hello friends, welcome. Friends, today I am going to take you through the challenges that we face while aggregating data shared by government agencies like TRAI. So friends, yesterday TRAI published the latest subscriber data end of 30th September 2023 of the telecom service providers in India. Now this data is captured in tables which are down below, like this tables. If you see here, I'm going to just blow it a little bit. So look at these two tables: wireline subscriber and wireless subscribers. Now friends, when you are going to use conventional processing software like PDF to Excel conversion, you will encounter a lot of difficulties. Why? Because these columns are all merged, and the output of this file is going to be very cluttered because some of these are not properly pasted. They are not being printed properly, and you will see that there are some overlapping text, and then there will be a lot of nulls that you will see, and it will all be scattered and cluttered. I'm going to show you what I mean. So it becomes very difficult to process, and it will take you at least half an hour to aggregate this in a file which you are using to look at the trend and for your further analysis. So it's a pain, and it kind of is more prone to errors. So what we need to do is that we need to find out a mechanism by which you can automate it. At least if not automate it, make the process simpler so that it kind of follows a set pattern, and whatever we are trying to do or whatever files that we are using, the end product which comes out or end output that it comes out can be easily pasted in that file for further processing. And let me tell you what I am basically trying to do is I have a file like this. Look at this Excel sheet. So this Excel sheet actually has got two tabs. In one tab, what I have done is that I have aggregated both wireline as well as wireless subscribers, right? One on top of each other for every month. So this file goes on down below, and if you look at this file, it will actually go down. It's in the beginning of the start of the process. So it's like January 2010. From January 2010 till the end of September, I have this data aggregated. Now, whenever I have to extract this data from this particular file, what happens is that the columns are not properly aligned. You see here? Here I start with what? Bharti. And here, if you look at this particular file, it starts with BSNL, the wireline. And then you go down below with wireless, they are starting with Bharti. So they are not maintaining any uniformity of columns also. So you have to switch between columns. So it's like a mess. It's a complete mess. You have to cut and paste columns and then rearrange the columns, and then you have to remove some columns. Some of the service providers are absent in both the tables. One of the tables, for example, let's see, here you will have BSNL VNO, here you will not have BSNL VNO. Similarly, here there is a service provider called Quadrant, here you will not have. So you have to create some dummy columns, and you have to also remove some columns, you have to add some columns, and that creates a lot of mess. And today what I am planning to do is to show you how you can semi-automate this. It's very difficult to, by the way, automate this. You can semi-automate this, and the way you can semi-automate is what I'm going to show you today. Let's start the video. Let's wait just a minute. Just hold on for a minute. Let me fix my face out of the screen, and then we can get my screen out of the screen, and then so this is the Python program which I am running. So what is this program all about? What this program will do to this file is it will going to convert this using it. Just wait for a minute. My dog is creating a problem. I'll just come back. So I'm back. Right. So what I'm basically was trying to say is that this program there are various modules of this program, and I'm going to take you through step by step. So first what I'm doing is I'm importing pandas, and then importing OS, and importing NumPy. And then I have a path on which my files are saved, where I'm going to finally save my files. Then what I have done is that I've created 3 lists of columns. And what are these 3 lists? The first is the wireline column, the second is the wireless column, and then we have the final columns in the manner which the file has to be finally paste it. And I'm going to show you what these columns are basically mapping towards. So if you look at this particular file, let's go to this file. You'll find that I'll just again blow it. So you'll find that the columns for the wordline table and the word list tables are different. So what I'm doing is that I'm basically putting and creating a list almost mapped to these columns. So first column is circle, then we have BSNL. Why BSNL 1 and 2? Because there are the data is for 2 months. One is for August, and then when the second data is for September. So I just put 1 and 2 just to represent these two columns. Similarly, I have got MTNL, then we have Bharti, then we have RCOM, and then we have all the others for wordline. Like you see, wordline, so many columns are there. Similarly, for wordless, I have created a similar set of columns. And the final columns are representing this file. These are the files. Because ultimately, I have to paste it in this file, right? So these are the final columns. So I have created these columns first. Let's go back again here. Now, after having done that, what I am doing is I am importing Tabula. And then I am running this file, which is a TRAI PDF. I am saved this file as TRAI PDF with all pages and reading all the tables. I am going to run and show it to you. So I am running this file, and then when I print table and I will display what tables are, you will find that this table will aggregate all the data of this file. Everything is going to get aggregated here. Just take some time to run. Let's wait. Once it is going to complete, the tables are going to be displayed on the screen. Just give me a minute. I'll just pause the video otherwise. Let me pause it. Yeah, I'm back. So look at these tables. So there are tables here. See this. So the first table is this one. So this is a table. Then you come down and then you will find the second table somewhere here. These are the tables, right? So sometimes what happens is that the file is not properly structured. You cannot identify a specific table by just simply putting a number here. Like if I put a number here 1, the first table will come, right? This table will come. Then I can put a number 2, the second table will come. Now you cannot be sure that the table number for the wordline subscriber data that you are trying to access, what is the number of this table. So you have to do a little bit of hit and trial, and to figure out whether this table is 5, 6, 7 or 8, that you have to do by mapping it like this, right, in the screen. So I have figured it out. For wordline, it is the table number 4. So I'll just put table number 4 here. You will find that for wordline. So look at this, the wordline table has come. Now, after having identified the wordline table, we will see that this data is not in any form it makes any sense, right? So there are 60 rows and there are certain columns, and most of them are looking like nulls, right? So what you have to do, you have to figure out where the data is. So in order to do that, you have to use the Python function iloc, and then you just type a number here. So I have already figured out, and you have to do hit and trial. So I say 11, I start from the 11th row, and then going forward, just let me do it, 11th row, and then going forward to the end of the table, and then I can basically choose all the columns and see what it basically does. So it is giving me this is a table, and it kind of goes down below, which a lot of nulls and lot of rows which are not unnecessary in between. So what I can do is I can run a function drop NA. So when I drop NA, I will like to drop NA of all the rows with null values. So I'll say drop NA access equal to 0. 0 means this access, and then how is equal to all, right? So once I do this, you will find that some of the rows are going to get eliminated. See, some of the null rows are getting eliminated. But what about the columns? I have to eliminate the columns also. So I say drop NA, and then I do the same thing. Access is equal to 1, and then how is equal to all, right? If you don't do how is equal to all, then it will basically kill the rows or the columns which have even one null. So that creates a problem. What is the problem with me? Access. So spelling of access is a problem. So access. So see, Now you have the circles in the row, column number 1, and then the data is right in front of you in the manner which you wanted, right? Now you have to check by how far that you want the data, because I don't want the totals at the end of the table, right? Look at these totals. I don't want this total at the end of the table. So what I am going to do? So I am going to remove these totals. So there are 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So I'll simply say here -3, right? And see whether it works. No, it will not work because there are many nulls which are in between. So I have to just hit and trial and see what works. So it's a -6. -6 works? Yes, -6 works. See, end of the table is 650,291, 650,091. So I have now have been able to aggregate the table in front of me, right? Now, I don't want totals, neither I want net addition, I don't want rural subscribers. I have to kill these 3 rows in the bottom of the table. So what I will do, I'll take this, I'll just first name this as, let me just expand this in front of you. So I'll name it as wireline. After having named it wireline, and before that also I can basically go and say iloc, and then I'll just kill the bottom 3 table. I say -3 to -3, and then all the columns, and you'll find that, sorry, I'll just remove this first, and then I'll just show it to you what the output is. See, now all the 3 columns, all the 3 rows down below have been removed. Now this is a clean table in front of you, right? So this is first level of processing is done, because you'll find that every column will have some number, right? Not of the column will be, or the rows will be without any number, right? So you can name this as wireline. So I'm going to name it as wireline, right? And then I say enter. So after having done that, we have finished. I have created a data frame which is reasonably clean. So then what I have to do is, then I have to set the index. So what I am going to do is, after having, now before we set the index, I have to rename this column, because if I just show you the data frame, let me just show you the data frame again, Control V, you will find that these columns have to be renamed. And if you recall, I already have this column listed here in that. So these are wirelines. So I'm simply going to copy this, and I'm going to go here and say columns equal to this. Once I have done that, you will find that the data frame is going to be named, all the columns will get named of the data frame. So data frame will look very clean. After you have done that, then you have to set the circle as index. So I'll say set index. Then I'll go and pick up the copy circle, Control C, and then I'll say Control V, and then I say in place is equal to true, right? Sorry, in place is equal to true. Now we'll have a data frame where the circles are the index is going to be set as circle. So see, index has been set as circles. Now I have a very clean and neat and clean data frame. Now my next task is to extract out either 1 or 2, because if you look at this particular sheet that I have, the Excel sheet, I have the dates stacked on top of each other, right? See, the dates are stacked on top of each other. So I already have August. I already had August. Now I need September. So I need 2. So then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use a list comprehension. It's very simple. You will find that it is very, very easy or very simple. So I have already have this list comprehension written here. And so saving the time of typing in this command here. So I'll just simply copy here and paste here. And you will find that what I'm doing, I'm basically using a list comprehension. I'm saying columns for column in wireline.column if 2 is in the column, which is 2. So this is going to get extracted out. So when I press enter, you will find that only the 2's are going to get extracted out. So 1 is removed. So I have now the final data frame in the manner which I wanted. So I'll simply copy it again in this wireline and I'll say enter. So now I have a data frame which is pretty neat and clean, which is the month of September. Control C and Control V. So see. So this is so far so good, and we have achieved a lot of ground. Then what I have to do, I have to remove this 2 because I don't want this 2 here, right? So I have again one list comprehension. I'm going to just pick it up and then I'm going to remove true and using a split function. So I'll just paste here and you will see Control V, and then the columns are going to be deprived of the tagged to value with the end of the, so that as to identify the columns as the second month. So these are all gone. So now I have varline dot columns is equal to these. So sorry, wireline dot column, wireline, wireline. Okay. Now let's look at the data frame, how the data frame looks. Control V, and you see it's very neat and clean. But I still have a problem because this is not in the format in which I like to paste here. Look, my format is different and this format is different. So I have to add some dummy columns because there are a lot of dummy columns here. And why these dummy columns are there? Because a lot of service provider had existed in past. See, Tata had subscribers, Arcom was an existing subscriber, live subscriber, and these operators have gone out of business. So, but I have kept this column alive because for the trend analysis. For the trend analysis, these columns have been kept alive. Like Telenor, there are many service providers who have gone extinct, right? So those columns have to be kept alive. Otherwise, I can't aggregate this data in a proper format for processing. So I have to add some dummy column. So let's look at that, what I have to do. So what I've done is I have created another set of column named dummy column. So these are the dummy column, the Vodafone, then Tata, Idea. These service providers do not exist as of date, right, as independent service providers. So these are the dummy columns. So I'll just simply copy it and I'll paste it here. And these are the dummy columns, right? After having created dummy column, what I have to do, I have to create a dummy data frame, right, with these columns. And that dummy data frame will have nothing but nulls. Because if you look at this particular sheet, you will find that this sheet, where is this sheet? This sheet, if you go top, at the topmost part of the sheet, where is it? You will find that these are all filled with nulls. There's nothing. So you need a dummy data frame with nulls. Okay. So go here and then you have to create a dummy data frame with nulls. So I'll just simply copy this here and I'm going to run here. It's nothing but a for loop, and what it does, it independently identifies. So it's a dummy data frame. I've just initiated dummy data frame, which is pddataframe.com, and then what I'm doing, I'm saying for column in wireless dummy.column, which is nothing. Here is the wireline dummy.column. So let me just run this again. So wireline dummy.columns, and for row in range 25, because there are 25 rows, right? And I'm saying dummy.loc row number here will come here and the column will come here. Column will come here, and I'm putting np9. So when I run this, you will find that I'm going to show you how the dummy looks. So dummy is Control C, Control V. See the dummy. Now this isn't complete yet because I need to name the index. So what I'm going to do, I'll say dummy.index is equal to wireline dot index. So I'm just going to copy the wireline index into dummy index, and I press enter. What happened? Oh, there is a problem here. Let me see what the problem is. Let me just come back. Yeah. So what happened was that there was a problem. This was not 24. There were 22. The reason is that if you go to wireline dot shape, look at the shape of the wireline, you'll find there are 22 rows and 10 columns. Therefore, initially when I put 24, it was wrong. There was 22. Now if you run it, right, so dummy.index, dummy.index is equal to wireline.index, right? And when you do it, it will basically work, and then I'm going to show you how the dummy data looks now. So Control V, and you see that all the index has been copied. After having done that, I have to just add these two data plane on top of each other, means on side by side. So it's very simple. So I say pd.concat, and then I am going to use one of the data frame, which is wireline and then the other data frame is DU dummy, and then what will be the axis? Axis is going to be 0, because it is axis is going to be 1, because I'm going to put this data frame side by side, and then I'm going to close it, and you'll see what happened here. Wireline, so bracket here, inside bracket, and then I'm running it. Yeah, you see, both the data frames have been added on top of each other. And now I'm going to copy this again in the same data frame, wireline, right? So pd.concat. So is now the data frame is complete, ready. But still there is a problem. The problem is that this is not in the same order that I want here. These are not in the same order that I want here, right? So I want this data frame to be in an order, which is in order to do that, I just have to use the same final columns here. So once I use these final columns, if you recall, these final columns have been put in the same order here, right? So I put the final columns here, and when I press enter, you will find the data frame is now in the same order, which is here. Now after having done this, what I have to do, I am just simply going to copy this, or I am going to straight away go and say to CSV, and give any name, whatever I want, wireline dot CSV, and then I say index anyway has to come, so I'll just simply say, and then it will get copied in the disk as wireline. And you will find that when I just open this, and this is going to be the file. I'm going to show it to you how the file looks. Just a minute. I'll come here on a desktop, and then I'm going to bring this in front of you, and you see this is the file. Now after having got this file, what I have to do? I just simply have to take this, copy this here, whatever the numbers are here, copy this, and then paste it here. Simple. And you don't have to do anything. So this is the first level of processing. The second level of processing is the next tab, which is here, which is the rural urban. Now this is a little tricky, because the rural urban information is at the end of the file. So if you go here, end of the data frame. So if you go on the top of the data frame, the tabula. So if I run here again, I run this again here, and I'm going to pause the video and let it. Yeah. So now if I I have already run it again, and I am here, I have converted into, I am running again the cells which are required to be run. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how the data frame looks here. Control Z. Then I say wireline. So you'll find that, this is already been extracted out. So what I am going to do is, I am going to put it because this, okay, so remove this, because I want the last 3 rows also. So you see, I have these last 3 rows here. So now I don't need the top 22 rows. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to say iloc, and then I am going to go here, and then I am going to say -3 to the end of the table, and then all the columns. So you see, I now have it. Now I don't need net addition. So I'm going to simply say drop the row with the index net addition. So, okay. So now this is going to get dropped. Now I have got a data frame with 2 rows. One is total and another is rural subscribers. Now the problem with this is that what I need now, I need an urban subscriber here. So if you look at this particular, let me just show you again. So this tab has got 2 rows. One is rural and another is urban. So I need the value of urban subscribers. Now how do I get the value of urban subscribers? I have to subtract total, the rural subscribers from total. Then I am going to get urban, right? That's how it is. But when you do the subtraction, because the format of these values are in string form, so it will throw an error. So you have to convert this into float first. So how do you convert into float? Before you do the conversion, what you have to do is that you have to remove all commas in between, right? Because there will be some values in some of the cells with commas. So what you have to do is you have to use a function called replace, and then you have to say that replace all commas with blanks, and then use regex is equal to true. Right, so the commas are going to get removed. Now it becomes easy. So now I am going to basically take it, control C, and I am going to name this as RU, wildland RU, urban rural. So I have a data frame with only 2 rows now. Okay, so I say okay, wildland RU, control C, wildland RU. So I have this. Now what I have to do? So I have to basically create now, I'll say wildland urban, because I need a row with a index of urban, right? So what the calculation would be? The calculation would be, again I have to use a function called iloc, because I need a row with urban, right? So where were we? We were here. Okay. So I'll say iloc or loc, and then I'll name the index as urban, right? And then I'll use all columns. And then what I'm going to do? I'm going to basically go here and use the same thing, control C, and I'll say control V, and instead of urban here I'm going to use total. And then I'm going to subtract it here, control V, and then I'm going to use here rural subscribers. Okay, control C, and I'm say control V. So I press enter. So after having done that, sorry, what happened? So there is a problem here. Yeah. So the problem is because that I have not converted this table into float. So if you look at this table, these are all I'll just show you what this table is. D type. You'll find that these are all object. So I don't want object. I want that the columns to be of the type float. Then only this particular calculation is going to work. So in order to do that, I run a for calculation. So column in wildline RU, control C, control V, dot columns, and I say column, and then I say wildline RU, control V, and then I say column, and then I say control V, and then I say column, and then I say as float, as type FLOAT float. So when I run this, so this is now done. Now this is going to work now. See, this is working. So I'll just show you how the final data frame looks. Control V. Now you have this. Now you have to remove the first. We don't need total. You only need rural and urban, right? So I'll simply say iloc, and then I'm going to remove the first column, first row, and then the data frame is going to. Now you can again use the list comprehension, take out 2 as you did that, and then you can save it, and then finally you can use the same thing and paste it here, right, by changing the order of the column. So I think probably, friends, we have already spent a lot of time in this video. It's already 30 minutes, so I don't want to go further, otherwise this video is going to become pretty long. Now probably you have understood that how to process complex PDF document using Python. Once you become comfortable with Python, you can do anything, whatever you want, right? And it will become pretty fast. You don't have to basically think. It will going to come automatically with you. So it is better to use these tools to become more efficient with your ability to process data and visualize data, because ultimately, in order to learn the subject, any subject that you want to learn, whether it is economics, telecom, you need to deal with data. And if you can't process data with your own hands, you have to rely on somebody else, then you will feel hampered and you will feel handicapped. So it is better to spend some time to be hands-on with these tools, which is going to enhance your capability to do many things much more sharper and clearer than what you were able to do earlier. So thank you very much, friends. Let me know anything else you need. in going forward, and I'll come back with a new video. And thanks for your patient listening. Thank you very much.